Hello guys and welcome back to Champions League predictions. It's the semi-final first leg predictions today. It's a big one. It's the final four and you could make an argument that all four of these teams could win the Champions League this season. It's a really open competition this time round. So we're going to be doing predictions. Before I get into mine, I'm going to say to you, get your predictions down in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my predictions. Get your predictions down there. Make sure to drop a like as well. Let's go for 2,000. The Champions League videos have been really well supported on the channel this year, so make sure to like and subscribe. As you can see, we are getting closer to 100,000 subscribers. Let's do that before the season comes to an end. So like, subscribe, and let's get into the games. And we start at the Emirates. It's Arsenal versus PSG, two teams that have been so impressive in the Champions League so far. And as I say, you could make an argument for either of these teams going on to win the competition. What's interesting with this fixture is we've got two teams that have never won the Champions League before. You know, these are two big teams in Europe. Arsenal are a big club in England, PSG dominating France most of the time, but they've never won the Champions League. And this is a really good opportunity because we're guaranteed that one of them is going through. Who is it going to be though? You feel like the pressure is on Arsenal having the home advantage first. PSG probably happy to get out of here with a draw. I'm not saying they can't win it, of course, but the pressure is on Arsenal to get the win. But who knows? I think they might deliver again. I mean, we saw an incredible side to Arsenal against Real Madrid. I mean, they dispatched of them 3-0 at the Emirates with a couple of outrageous free kicks from Declan Rice. And then in the second leg, they went to the Bernabeu and got the job done and won again. 5-1 on aggregate, by the way. That is incredible, and they showed real good mettle to only concede one goal across the two games and good character to bounce back from any setbacks. You know, of course, Bukayo Saka misses a penalty at the Bernabeu and he responds by going on to score later in the game anyway. So what am I thinking? Let's have a little run through of the numbers before we get into this. So Arsenal are currently second in the Premier League. They're pretty much nailed on to finish second this season. Liverpool, of course, have romped home with the Premier League title, and below them, there's not much competition. All of Arsenal's focus is on the Champions League. As for PSG, all of their focus is now on the Champions League because they've already won Ligue 1. We have seen them maybe drop off a tiny bit recently. They did lose at home to Nice 3-1 in their last game in Ligue 1. But they've got so much quality, haven't they? Let's run through some of the players. Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Barcola as well. They've got players that can hurt you. Nuno Mendes as well has really impressed me. So they've got a lot going for them. Donnarumma can keep them in a game. We saw that against Aston Villa. I think I was really impressed with PSG's first leg performance against Aston Villa. Second leg, not so much. Credit to Aston Villa. They did make PSG work, but it showed that there are vulnerabilities to PSG and they only just got through in the end, 5-4 on aggregate. As I say, it was a lot more comfortable for Arsenal against Real Madrid. For Arsenal, like I say, the players to look out for: Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, be careful if he gets a free kick, Trossard, Martinelli. They have got a couple of injuries, which is worth pointing out. I think Partey might be injured, so let's see what midfield they set up with for this one. And remember, these two did play each other earlier in the Champions League this season. I think it was on the 1st of October when Arsenal beat them 2-0 at the Emirates in the league phase. I do need to add the caveat that PSG are a very different team to that team that Arsenal beat back then. It's fair to say PSG have really grown into the competition this season, and I don't know, are they peaking at the right time? They're slaying all the English teams. Can they knock Arsenal out? Arsenal's last game in the Premier League was a 2-2 draw against Crystal Palace, so you could say that they're not at their fluid best, but as I say, the focus is certainly more on the Champions League. An interesting stat here, Arsenal in 5 games against PSG have never lost to them. So can PSG pull it off? Another stat which is worth highlighting is PSG have not lost many games at all in 2025. I think it might be about 3. And 2 of them were against English teams. They lost to Villa and to Liverpool, but as I say, they did beat them over the 2 legs. With all that said, let's do a prediction. I think with the home advantage, Arsenal need to win. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will, but after seeing that performance against Real Madrid, I think they will. I'm going to predict Arsenal 2, PSG 1 for this first leg, which does give Arsenal an advantage going back to Paris, but it would still leave things sort of in the balance. If Arsenal can win this game 2-0 or 3-1, if they can win it by 2 clear goals, then I would say they're going to get to the final. But by 1 goal, and I think PSG still have a chance. So I'm giving Arsenal the win, but honestly, I'm struggling to separate the two. Share your thoughts down in the comments. A really fascinating one. We could have a bit of an underdog story this season, as I say, with one of these winning the Champions League for the first time. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let's move on to the second game then on Wednesday night as Barcelona take on Inter Milan. And as I say, there's a good chance one of these could win the Champions League as well. I think Barcelona do come into this as the favourites for most people, but Inter Milan are not to be underestimated. Their defence has been very good, especially in the Champions League this season. We have seen a little drop-off in form recently though. I know they're doing well in Serie A, they've been really good this season, but the results have tailed off a little bit, and we saw some vulnerabilities against Bayern Munich. You know, they did get through 4-3 winners, so credit to them, but not at their fluid best, I would say. Of course, you've got Martinez, Fratesi, Thuram, Barella, plenty of good players, but so do Barcelona. You've got Lamine Yamal, you've got Rafinha, you've got Ferran Torres, and of course Lewandowski, but Lewandowski is injured, and that's a big blow for Barcelona, especially when you need to break down this solid Inter Milan defence. The game plan for Inter Milan surely has to be, come here, try not to concede many. If you can just keep Barcelona from scoring, I don't know, say Barcelona score 1, that's a pretty good job for Inter Milan away from home here. Barcelona are looking good. They've just won the Copa del Rey final, 3-2 against Real Madrid coming into this. Barcelona have won 5 Champions Leagues, Inter Milan have won 3. Barcelona most recently won it 10 years ago though. For Inter Milan, it was 15 years ago since they last won a Champions League. Let's do a prediction then. I think Inter Milan might score. I know that the game plan for them surely has to be try and keep Barcelona from scoring loads of goals, but I think Barcelona you can get at. But I think Barcelona are going to power through. Even without Lewandowski, I fancy them to hit a few goals, and they need to with the home advantage. So I'm going to go Barcelona 3, Inter Milan 1 as my prediction, which gives Barcelona a massive chance of getting to another Champions League final. Feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments, guys. It's a massive, massive game. What I will say, obviously, this is quite obvious, but the home legs are really crucial. Surely the objective for PSG and Inter Milan is don't let the games get away from them in the first leg. I think that's what we saw for Real Madrid when they went to Arsenal in the last round. You know, if you go 3-0 down in the first game, you've got a mountain to climb in the second game. So I'm back in Barcelona. I know they conceded a couple of goals in the second leg against Dortmund, but I think at home they'll get the job done, and really they'll be close to the final. And so then that does wrap up my Champions League semi-final first leg predictions. Am I massively confident with my predictions? I'm not sure, you know. As I say, the Champions League is so open this year, so I'm open to your predictions down in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my predictions. If you disagree, that's fine, but be constructive. Let me know why your predictions might be right, and don't be horrible in the comments. Let's be friendly on the Matt SB community. If you enjoy what you see, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's massively appreciated, so do help the channel grow towards 100,000 subscribers. As I say, we will be back doing Champions League semi-final second leg predictions this time next week, and I think after those first legs we'll have a bit more of a clearer picture of who's going to be in that Champions League final. As well as that, of course, we've got Europa League predictions back tomorrow as well. I will say Manchester United go away to Bilbao, and we've got Tottenham versus Bodo Glimt, so I'm really looking forward to predicting those. And if you haven't already checked out our Premier League content, we do predictions regularly with Sophie. They will be back next week, and the EFL Championship is in its final week now, so we've got so many videos coming out at the minute. Make sure to get involved with all of it so you don't miss any of it. I can't believe the season's nearly over. This is it, guys. The season is coming to its climax. What's going to happen? Let me know your thoughts down below. Otherwise, that's it from me. A massive thank you for your continued support on the Matt SB channel. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone, and peace out.